BookTube. Let me wait a second. Hey, BookTube. Yes. If I go too fast with the hands at the beginning of the video, the computer crashes. Well, the computer doesn't, but the program does. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you about the Megalon, which is the read along that Erica at the Perks of Books, I think is what her channel is called, has put together for July to read Meg, which was so much fun. I don't even know what to do. It was completely action packed. I was supposed to, the way she has it set up is like you read a little bit each week for 3 weeks. But I started reading it and I couldn't finish. I couldn't put it down. So I read it in that first day, and it was just one of those super thrilling, action packed books. And I liked it so much that now I am reading The Trench. We're freezing up a little here. So I'm reading The Trench now. And I'm not very far in it at all. But it already has a pretty exciting setup kind of thing. And I've heard a lot of people shit on The Trench. So hopefully, again, I will be just blown away because I have no expectations. So that's a thing. But what I wanted to talk about, and again, these are my views, and this is a discussion video, so I'm hoping that we can discuss this. So, however you want to do it, that's fine. I'm excited. But if you use the hashtag Megalong on Twitter, you could get into a conversation with other people who are reading Meg right now. And something that I noticed right away was some readers and some booktubers talking about how they do not like the descriptions of the women in the book, or the depictions of the women in the book. There is talk about how they find it, I don't know if they just find it annoying or if they find it sexist that for like 2/3 of the book they refer to the Meg as the female. And I already tweeted about this. They call it the female because the first one they found was a male. So there was a male and a female, and that's how they were telling them apart. But I just felt like the book was getting a lot of unnecessary hate or annoyance. And I felt that was really sad because it's just an entertaining book. You know, is it Shakespeare? No, it's just an entertaining book. For years and years and years and years and years, the majority of books that were published were to entertain you. And that's perfectly fine. Authors do not have social responsibility for their writings, no matter what people think. Like, again, you could think that they should have it, but they don't. They're entertainers. They're not social activists. If they are, they do that in their spare time. Okay? So I get really, like, I just don't understand why people think that people who write fiction, make believe stuff, have a social responsibility to make everybody happy and end up making the blandest product out there. I don't understand that. So, one thing that I did want to share, and I don't think this is like fucked up or anything because it's on fucking Twitter. It's not like it's top secret information. But Sam Brennan at Sarcasm and Sci-Fi wrote this tweet here. Let me see if I could get it. You know what I'll do? While I do this, I'm going to do this and keep talking so you think I'm on top of my game. There we go. Now it's so dark, I can't even see it. Okay, so, wow, that's really dark. Maybe I made it too dark. It says, Meg is the ultimate example of male writers not knowing how to write female characters. Hashtag Megalon. Okay, now, before everyone starts freaking out, I want to say that I just subscribed to Sam's channel. I went and checked it out because what I was curious about was like maybe this person just hasn't read a book that was written before the year 2000 or something like that, you know, and doesn't read pulpy stuff like that. But I went to her booktube channel, and the one first prop I'm going to give is that it looks like a lot of Sam's video ideas or titles or anything like that are a lot more unique than I've seen on a lot of booktube channels. So, okay. But I am looking forward to it. And I did notice that there was some Stephen King reading in there, a lot of old sci-fi, Lady Killer by Joelle Jones, who's like my favorite right now in comics. So she's doing the new Catwoman, and we'll talk about that at another time because I think I've already beat that dead horse. But anyway, what I wanted to say about this was it is extremely offensive to me as more as a writer than as a male, but when people make statements like male writers not knowing how to write female characters. Okay. Hey guys, sorry, my iMovie kept freezing up on me. So I had to restart the program. But back to what I was talking about was it's offensive to me as a writer. Okay. So here we go. Let me see here. Sorry, I shouldn't be tweeting and making a video at the same time. But like so we were talking about Sam Brennan, but the restricted section has also been in on this, and you know how much I love the restricted section. So, but like they said, it may be oh yeah, it may be the worst depictions of women I've ever read. I've read way worse, but that just might be because I read crap. But basically, what I was saying was, if someone is upset with how women are depicted, let's say, or described, um, you have to, the way I look at it is that you have to look at the POV character, the point of view character, who is either relaying this information to you, the reader, or whose eyes we're seeing this through. So if the main character sees some chick and starts talking about how hot she is or how big her tits are or something like that, um, that might be the character. Because if the author was also writing like an 8-year-old kid and was going to describe the same woman, I really don't think the author would describe that woman as super hot with big tits coming from an 8-year-old. Um, this is one of those like male adventure books. And I use the term male adventure because at one point that was a genre. But the demographic was for other males who like adventure stuff. It's the same reason why James Bond's the way James Bond is, and yada yada yada. But so I said this stuff, and I was just like, like saying what I'm saying to you guys. Like, I don't agree with blanket statements about males not being able to write females because this guy talked about her tits. It's kind of a like a generalized prejudice to me to hear somebody say that. And the restricted section says, in response to what I said, you have a point there, but according to Erica, Alton tends to always write women this way. So I would have a hard time not blaming the author there. And that's fine, because again, that was the first book of his I've read, and I'm reading The Trench right now. But if the main character is the same character throughout the books, which I don't know if that's the case or not, it might be more of the same. So basically, what I'm trying to get at here is that, oh, and then the depictions of the women. There's two main women in this book, besides the female Megalodon. One is a young woman from Asian heritage whose family does not really want her to risk her life in the family business of getting in the water with these giant animals, basically. So she's kind of oppressed by culture, and she is like trying really hard and even every way she can to be able to not only prove that she can do these things, but that she's as good or better than anyone else who would be doing them. So that character, I believe, is really strong. Now, Jonas, the main character here, thinks she's pretty hot and doesn't mind talking about it. The first time he sees her, he's kind of taken aback by her, and then a little while later, they're like sunbathing, and he also, many other times in the book, talks about her as a on her merit as well. The other character in this book, the other big female character in this book, is his wife Maggie, who is definitely a career woman who is very much in control of her destiny for the most part, and doesn't like pussyfoot around that. Like, she's very much uh, on top of it and doesn't really give a shit. Um, kind of who she steps on along the way. She's just an extremely powerful, business minded woman who, again, to me, is a very strong woman. So I don't get the depictions of this being bad. Um, I could see people being upset that there is a lot of descriptions of women based on their physical appearance, which, not to be a dick, but I think that's how one would describe one. And some of you might be saying, oh, well, if I go see a girl somewhere, I'm not going to say, like, oh, yeah, she's the one with the tits that look like da 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 da. Okay, fine. But for a male writing for a straight male audience, at least that's the key demographic there. That's kind of how that character would describe that person to somebody else. But again, now we're talking about how a book would be marketed to the masses, and we're not really talking about the art there. So, getting back to the main point here, I think everyone should read it. It's a lot of fun. I don't really feel that this was rough like that. And again, it might just be because I've read a lot of like shitty, cringy, like paperbacks and pulps and stuff like that. So, I don't know, but I really liked it. And I hope that's not. I mean, Erica really likes it, and I hope Erica's not like watching this, going, "Oh my god, why did I do this? Why is he talking?" So hopefully, no heat goes her way. She's great for putting this together, and I'm really enjoying it. So I guess that's it. So let me know down below. I would love to talk to you about this more. And if you want to talk to me on Twitter, you can talk to me on Twitter about it. As a heads up, the first issue of Weird Mask is up. Not up, it's in my hand, but you could get it at the Etsy store, and I'll try to remember to put that link down in the box. Now, I know a lot of people say, Matt, you always say you're going to put stuff in the Dropbox, and you never do. So I'm telling you now, once this goes up, I'm going to try to remember to put the link in here. Okay? So, let me know what you think down below. Go check out the restricted section, and check out Sam's channel too. Let me see if I could. Sarcasm and Sci-Fi. Let me just make sure that's the name of her actual channel before I go here. Yep, Sarcasm and Sci-Fi. So go check that out, and have a great day.